Hello, hello, welcome back. I'm Louise, I am an actor and an audition coach, and this week we are going to be looking at how you cope with nerves in an audition. So like I always ask, if you find this material valuable and useful, just make sure that you subscribe to the channel and that you like this video. So before we dive into everything, let me just say that nerves are completely normal. They are incredibly common with pretty much every single actor out there when they go for auditions. It's something that happens at the very beginning of your career or at the very beginning of you kind of auditioning for drama school, and it doesn't really leave you. But just take this as a comfort to know that you're not alone when it comes to actually experiencing nerves in an audition. Now, I've been auditioning for years now, and I have always kind of experienced some level of nerves every time I go into an audition room or just before I go in. And I know that I don't want that to interfere with my process, with what I'm actually able to do in the audition room. So I've found some kind of techniques and some tricks that have worked for me personally over the years so that I'm able to put my best foot forward, to do the best work that I'm capable of on the day without nerves interfering, so that I'm actually able to work with the nerves instead of trying to work against them. So these are my 5 tried and tested techniques that I've found really useful for kind of counteracting or working with nerves in an audition room. So the first one is actually understanding what you can actually control. So when we think about nerves, we often think of that sensation of feeling out of control or at the mercy of external factors. So a good way to actually kind of ground yourself and take those nerves away ever so slightly is to take stock of all of the things that you're actually capable of controlling right there in that moment. So you are always capable of controlling the amount and the way that you prepare for an audition. You are always in control of your own time management in terms of how much time you assign to preparation or how much time you assign to actually traveling to an audition or getting there early. All of that kind of stuff you are able to control. You're also in control of prioritizing your own self-care. So actually taking time out of auditioning and kind of preparing for auditions around the clock to actually give yourself some breathing space, to actually be kind to yourself. All of those things you're able to control as well. You are not, however, in control of the audition panel's opinion of you. You're not in control of the talent and the capability of the other people who are auditioning on the same day as you or around you or for the same role. And you're not in the end in control of the outcome of the audition. You're not in control of whether you do or do not book the job. Now, this might seem a little bit stressful, but if you actually reframe it to think, well, that's out of my hands, therefore that's out of my head, to actually kind of go, well, I can't control those things, so why am I letting it occupy my mind when I can actually occupy my mind with the things that I am capable of controlling? So just making that slight shift in terms of your priorities of what you actually focus on can be really beneficial to counteracting those nerves. The second thing is actually seeing nerves less as nerves, but more as excitement. So there's actually some science to back up the fact that what happens physically and chemically within your body when you're nervous is pretty much the same as what happens when you are excited. Now, this is a really good thing to know because essentially you're halfway there to actually taking the nervous energy and converting it and eliminating it into something that is actually more positive. The thing that it actually requires, the difference between those two things, is a mindset. Now, changing your mindset over certain things does actually take practice, but the more and more you exercise that muscle of shifting the mindset away from I'm really, really nervous through to I'm actually quite excited, that's going to be really beneficial for you in an audition situation. So the more and more you tell yourself that you're not nervous, that you're actually excited, the more and more you're going to believe that. The third thing is connecting to your breath. Now that might sound really, really basic to actually, okay, well, breathing, okay, fantastic. But hear me out on this, because that is the first thing that tends to go when we get nervous in an audition situation. Our breath tends to go really high up into our chest and it becomes shallow. And when we breathe high and shallow, it actually tricks our body into thinking that there is really, really something wrong, that we go into that kind of fight or flight mode where we start to actually panic because we think that there is danger around us. So a good way to actually take yourself from that nervous energy into somewhere that is a lot more calm is to breathe deeply, to actually extend the breath and bring it lower into the body. So even just taking yourself to a quiet corner before you go in for an audition and actually placing one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly and actually just kind of concentrating on breathing in and breathing out into those spaces to encourage that breath to go lower into the body, to extending, elongating the in-breath and the out-breath. And just doing that for 10 breaths and concentrating on that can actually bring those nerves down quite considerably. The fourth thing is physical release. So nerves come from the mind, but they actually manifest in the body. So what nerves do is they actually kind of bind us and they tighten and they restrict us, which is bad news for an actor when you go into an audition, because we want to have full access to engaging with physical impulses and taking up space in the room and really engaging on a physical level with the material, with the people that we're actually auditioning with. So you don't want nerves to interfere with that, so we need to find some physical release along the way to counteract those nerves. So what I would always encourage doing is just a kind of simple stretching routine of kind of rolling up and down the body to kind of release out that tension, along with doing a full body shake for about 10 or 20 seconds, doing some isolated muscle clench and release, so actually kind of going from the top of the head all the way down through to the tips of the toes and just isolating particular parts of your body, clenching them really, really hard and then releasing them to actually kind of pay attention to particular parts of your body. Brings a bit more mindfulness to the practice as well, and it gives you the benefit of feeling release on a physical level. And even trying some light jogging. Again, it forces you to actually breathe, but that kind of shake of consistently bouncing up and down as you jog can really, really alleviate some of that physical tension. Now, I personally am a big fan of the full body shake because it actually feels like I'm shaking the nerves off of my body. It's really beneficial for me. So make sure that you're finding particular things that work best for you so you can apply that to your process when you need it. And number 5 for really helping to work with those nerves to counteract them is positive self-talk. So our words and what we actually speak to ourselves affect us more than we actually know. They affect us on quite a deep level. So if you are about to go into an audition, or if you are even in the audition and your mind is telling you, this is awful, I'm never going to get the job, I don't want to be here, I want to go home, the panel hate me, etc., etc., then the likelihood is you are not going to do your best work. Now, if, however, you actually convert that talk into positive self-talk and you're telling yourself things like, I am ready, I am prepared, I am calm, I am looking forward to meeting the panel are excited to see me, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to try out this work, to play this scene, to meet these people, then the likelihood is you're going to go in there with more of a positive mindset and you're going to do better work. So with all of those things in mind, I just want to leave you with one last thought, and that's actually that nerves are a really good barometer for your passions, that you're actually paying attention to things that mean something to you, that you're passionate about, that you care about. Going into a situation where you are nervous means that you're actually risking something, that you're going towards something that you really, really want, that you don't have yet, that you run the risk of not being able to get. And that's a certain level of jeopardy, but it's healthy. Now, the difference between nerves and dread are completely different. So dread is an emotion that is driven by this idea of you going towards something that you really don't want. Now, I would encourage you, if you're feeling more of the sensations of dread before or during an audition, of actually those thoughts coming up of, I don't want to do this, this isn't what I want to go home, this is really uncomfortable for me, then I would encourage you to start really getting curious about the reasoning why you're putting yourself through this and whether this is actually a healthy choice and a healthy direction and journey for you. If it's more of a nervous energy, then you're going towards something that you really want that will eventually make you happy if you are able to get it. And dread is that idea of going towards something that you don't want that will eventually make you unhappy. So knowing the difference between the two is going to be really beneficial for you. So don't just think, oh well, I'm nervous. Get curious about whether this is actually nerves or actually dread. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you found this stuff valuable. And if you did, just make sure that you click like, you like this video, and that you subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks.